Another day, another day. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the 10th episode of the 8th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available. Fourth in the link in the description below. Just click in it, put a password in, and enjoy. So can you believe we are on 10 episodes of this season? Honestly, double digits. I always find it crazy when we hit this point in every season, more especially when we're moving towards the later seasons. I actually just can't believe we're in season 8 and it's just totally flying. Honestly, it's crazy. And last episode, Raj was dealing with a struggle with his parents actually breaking up after 40 years of getting close to potential marriage. He got the news that they decided to separate, and it got everybody thinking, especially Howard and Bernadette, about their relationship and how they should be more open to each other, about the love and hates of everything that they've got going on, because basically they don't want to be in something so long where they keep holding something, and they end up resenting the other person. And he was expressing things that they like and dislike about each other, and it ended up kind of going into like a slaggy war where he was like, what you can say, like passive insults, so to speak. So like they were saying something as a compliment, but like in reality, if he was listening to what they were saying, he was actually saying it as a negative about the other person. It was actually really interesting. And also, Leonard, he's been snoring for a couple of years now, and obviously he wants to get this sorted out. He wants to give Penny a sleep, peaceful sleep at night, and he decided, he's going to have an operation. Sheldon, how he is, gets over kind of, protective, starts working out calculations and basically saying that 1 in 700,000 people die in this routine operation. And well, Leonard was countering it by basically saying, but you do realise that means that 699,999 people actually have it successfully. And he was like, well, yeah, you're a glass half full kind of guy, you know what I mean? And he went to the hospital to support him after obviously Leonard told him that he was going swimming. He didn't really want to tell him, obviously he was going to the operation. He found out and he ran over to basically see if he was okay. Sheldon ended up walking into a glass door and getting a busted up nose, and at the end of the episode they was both sat there with bandages all over the face and a tissue stuffed up the nose, looking like an injured couple together. So that was interesting as well. But that's where we currently are. Hopefully you guys enjoyed last episode and been enjoying the series so far. If you do enjoy today's, please smash a like, it really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into the 10th episode of the 8th season of The Big Bang Theory.
I'm Dr. Sheldon Cooper, and welcome to Sheldon Cooper Presents Fun with Flag. The final episode, Flagtacular. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, the final episode, who will stand between us and flag ignorance?
Is this a show on flags or mind reading?
I can no longer balance a full-time career, a popular internet show, and a girlfriend. So, as they say, all good things must come to an end.
After only 232 episodes.
Please sit back, relax, and join us as we take our final lap, as indicated by the waving of this racing flag.
Professor Abbott's family want any of this stuff?
I don't think he had a family.
Well, it's rough.
No. You spend your whole life working, and at the end, all that's left are some papers in a box. So we're supposed to look through all this stuff before we throw it away in case it's important.
I did. It's all outdated or disproved.
It feels weird just throwing away his work like this.
Don't feel bad. Someday someone will be throwing out your work, too.
Hey, look at this. Dear Roger, to be opened upon your first great discovery of Mom. Wow, look at the date. He saved us 50 years and never got to open it.
The thing is, though, that is proper deep, that, isn't it? And he's probably going to do a self-reflection, Leonard, I reckon, this episode. Sit there and think, what discoveries have I actually done? Sometimes you get in a situation or in a moment where, like, you look at somebody else's life and, like, what they were striving to achieve and stuff like that, and then you actually start reflecting, like, and thinking, what have I actually done? Am I going to be in this same situation? Do I want to end the same way he did? Do you know what I mean? In an empty room on my own with no real discoveries. I've got this from my mum, something that was potentially supposed to be exciting, and I've not even decided myself I've hit a good milestone. Do you know what I mean? It's not even the fact that you got an accolade that the whole world could, remember you by, and that was the time to pop it and, open the bottle. Sheldon potentially had that when he was going to get this chemical element that he was discovering. It's the fact that even he can't self-reflect and decide that I've done something personally as achievable that I can celebrate on. Do you know what I mean? That's deep, and it looks like, well, to me anyway, it looks like Leonard's on that path of looking at it thinking, maybe that could be me in the future, and that's kind of sad.
Oh
my Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Dan. My boss, who didn't want to hire me, now has a little hug machine.
Over to my table.
Yes, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Bernadette's just parking the car.
Oh, he's scared of Bernadette.
Bernadette. Cute, sweet, vicious little Bernadette. The company picnic, she yelled at me and my grandson for losing the three-legged race. He still calls her that mean kid with the big boobies.
Oh, we're just talking about how much we love working with you. Isn't that right, Dan?
We've had an opportunity to learn, laugh, wonder,
And yes, even shed a tear or two.
like when you do a 2-hour 4th of July spectacular, and it doesn't get recorded.
How many times do I have to say I'm sorry?
How about 4,000? Please enjoy these highlights. What flag do we have today?
Australia, mate! Say, Betsy Ross, what you working on?
I have no idea. Because the story of me sewing the first American flag is unsupported poppycock. Fancy a dip, my dear?
I do.
That purple flag indicates that marine pests such as jellyfish are present.
Wow, that flag is a lifesaver.
No. This is.
Right, it's interesting because I said it at the time she dressed up as a pretzel, but Amy is committed, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I wonder how many people could actually sit and do as much as she invests herself and time into the situations with Sheldon in these fun with flags. And you know what? I'll actually miss it when they stop doing it because, you know me, continuity is key. And, you know, I know this is not consistent with a show or storyline that we're doing, but it's consistent with a show or something that Sheldon does. And I do like it dipping in. I feel like we could do 2 or 1 a season and just keep it going. You know what I mean? I remember Community, the TV show, another comedy that was quite good. They done a paintball episode and it popped off and everybody enjoyed it. And they kind of made it a feature that I think once a season they created a paintball episode. And do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need it. And it's not like a full-on storyline that has any impact on the actual people's show. But just the continuity and the like nostalgia and the interesting like parts of it that you like to see, I like it, and I wish that it continued.
You know what I like to do? Sing Hakuna Matata like an 8-year-old girl.
Wrong, smarty pants. It's Everything is Awesome from the Lego movie.
But what if this was a potential breakthrough for him? What if this is the thing that would have finally let him open that bottle of champagne?
Maybe he didn't know what to pair champagne with.
There's no discernible pattern that I can see, but it shouldn't be too hard to run the numbers and check.
Oh, we could run a pattern matching algorithm against well-known unsolved physics problems.
Ooh, it might be a substitution cipher. We could start with basic cryptanalysis.
Or we could talk to this guy I used to share an office with.
Dan, you have a grandson? How old is he?
7.
Oh, yeah. I remember him from the picnic.
I heard he was being picked on by a mean kid.
Just builds character. Like my dad said, nobody likes a crybaby except their mommies and Democrats.
I need another drink.
I know what a good person you are, but sometimes people think you might come off a little harsh.
Look at me, I should be in a tree baking cookies.
People think you're a little mean.
Action.
Our guest today is a returning fan favorite. He puts the reading in your rainbow, the Geordie in your LaForge, and the Kunta in your Kinte, Mr. LeVar Burton.
Oh, he's back.
Since you're here, I'd like to get your opinion on something. In honor of Black History Month, I portrayed George Washington Carver in a loving tribute that my roommate called wildly racist. What do you think? Hi, my name is George.
Oh, hell no.
Sure, this is the place.
The doorman said this is the right building.
Can I help you?
Hi, we're from the university. We're trying to get some information about Professor Abbott.
We were cleaning out his office and found these books full of numbers.
Any chance you know what it is?
The number of calories in a yogurt. Yeah, he wrote down everything he ever ate. He was convinced that calorie restriction was the key to living forever. On the bright side, you didn't have to listen to his stomach growl for 35 years.
You his colleague. How did your research turn out?
Great. Hey, this is the apartment you get when you win a Nobel.
I'm not a bully. I mean, maybe I come off a little strong, but that's only because my dad raised me to be tough and not to take crap from anybody.
The difference between being tough and telling your friend her new pants look like a saggy diaper.
Can we just go? I feel like everybody hates me.
No, come on. They don't hate you, all right? They're just a little intimidated.
I'd rather go.
No, come on. You are not going anywhere, all right? I am here for you, and we're gonna fix this together.
Thank you.
Even though your dress is ugly.
I actually don't think her dress is that bad, but at the end of the day, she'd rather go home when in reality, if you think about it deeply, all she's doing is walking around insulting people, which is actually bad. You know what I mean? Like calling people sissy, calling people like saggy pants or whatever, like saying people you don't like the clothes and just saying different things about stuff. It's actually mean. Do you know what I mean? You're actually being a nasty person at the end of it. And instead of going around not insulting anybody, you know what I mean? Like she'd rather just go home instead of actually just being a nicer. Now, I do like Bernadette, but that is, you know, it's not a good trait really, is it? If everyone thinks that you're walking around just ready to insult everybody.
It looks like the last episode of Fun with Flags is at an end. I would run each and every one of you viewers up a flagpole and salute you. Take a moment to personally thank Dr. Amy Farrah Fowler, who you may or may not know is the first woman to co-host a flag or banner-related internet infotainment show.
Take that, glass ceiling.
Before I sign off, I'd like to share with you all one last use for a white flag. It's good for times like this.
Why is he giving it up?
That was beautiful.
If you didn't press
I pressed it!
You see her face, she's fuming.
That's it.
Not everyone will accomplish something great. Some of us may just have to find meaning in the little moments that make up life.
This bottle was meant to celebrate an achievement. Let's make a pact. When one of us gets their first big breakthrough, we'll celebrate by opening this bottle of champagne and toasting Professor Abbott.
Just want you to know I didn't mean to be rude about your grandson.
No, it's okay.
No, it's not. Penny told me that everyone's scared of me.
Why would she say that? You know she drinks, right?
That from now on, I'm gonna be much more sensitive. I don't want anyone walking on eggshells around me.
Oh, one thing I've been meaning to tell you is that the company's going to stop paying for our coffee.
No problem. When does that start?
5 months ago.
Who's gonna pay for my coffee?
All of us.
Yeah, it comes from the swear jar we put money in when you curse.
What else don't I know about?
Well, you know your private bathroom?
Yeah?
That was supposed to be for the whole floor.
No, it's okay. It only really affected wheelchair Kathy, and she's back in the hospital now, so it all worked out.
I feel so bad.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't have named her Wheelchair Kathy.
It's not okay. How could I even work here anymore?
Because this company needs you.
It's fine. We don't mind paying for the coffee. Maybe we could get you an espresso machine for your office.
I guess that would be all right.
How come you're up so late?
I posted the last episode of Fun with Flags hours ago, and not a single person cared enough to comment.
Spent the day throwing out a man's entire career, and all that's left is an old bottle of champagne and a naked lady pen that Raj took when he thought no one was looking.
It's not the same thing. Someone left a comment.
Yeah, what'd they say?
Hey,
Too
man.
bad your show is done. I kind of liked it. Oh, the people are heartbroken. Fun with Flags is back.
Congratulations.
Let's celebrate.
Sheldon, that wasn't for you!
Oh, no, I'm not going to drink it. I just wanted to hear the pop. LeVar Burton? LeVar Burton. LeVar Burton. You told me not to call, and I didn't know how else to give you the good news. Fun with Flags is back. Since you were born in Germany, I thought we could talk about German flags. How do you feel about dressing up like a swastika?
Imagine. Like I said, mate, it's like Sheldon actually doesn't know what a boundary is. He actually has no idea. You know, he just says and does whatever pops into the top of his head, and he probably has no idea that he's offending somebody as well. He probably had the swastikas all around and start talking about the history and everything that went on, and he'd be loving it. He'd be like, knowledge, knowledge, you know what I mean? And like not realise that loads of people are obviously upset and offended by it. And that's what I'm saying about, you know, a couple of, was it seasons ago now? I don't even know, when he was saying stuff about women when he was talking to Alex about obviously her and Leonard. He had no malicious intent at all, but it was his approach that he had no idea that was incorrect, you know what I mean? And that's what I was kind of struggling with, because I could see that he's visually saying stuff that was like boundary level, But I also knew that he had no intention of ever trying to upset anybody. Do you know what I mean? And that's literally Sheldon to a T. You know, he'll say what he thinks and he does what he does, and he has no malicious intent apart from trying to expand and tell everybody about the knowledge and the history of stuff. But at the end of the day, he always seems to do something that either stresses somebody out or pees them off or even just offends them. And all that is literally never any intent of anything whenever he starts doing it. Hey, that's going to wrap up today's episode. So it looked like it was the end of Fun with Flags. We had a whole big farewell, a big emotional episode, but then obviously Sheldon getting one comment was back on it. I can't do this to the fans. We're going to bring it back, and it looks like it's potentially returning in a season in the future coming near you. Do you know what I mean? Which will be interesting to see, obviously, what his next comeback episode is going to be. And, you know, it was interesting that Bernadette found out that everybody was kind of like, I don't know, walking on eggshells and kind of scared of her. And the reason is, though, is, let's be honest, she is, I wouldn't say bullying, but she's quite offensive to everybody in a way that she has no... Well, I wouldn't say no intent of it, but like she's unaware of. Do you know what I mean? So she's always calling people names and hurting people's feelings, and it's always to kind of like her benefit, but like she never really realizes that she's doing that. And you know, I think, to be honest, that it is about time something like that come out, because you don't, what if you didn't realize that you was actually being offensive to people when you was consistently to everybody and they've all got the same opinion. You would want to know that, wouldn't you? So that, like, you can improve yourself as a person, you know. It's like, an example is when I first started doing this, in, like, early shows and seasons years back, you know, like, maybe I watched back some episodes and I'm like, I don't like the way that I actually taught. So, like, I used to swear, like, a lot. Honestly, a lot. And I never realised that and the way I taught and my personality until I kind of done this, and then like I looked back and like reflected, and I was like, mate, I wish somebody said to me like, you swear loads, mate. You know what I mean? Like, you need to calm down. It's kind of offensive. And like I don't really do it anymore. I might drop swear words in here and there, but like, you know, I realised that myself from finding that out, but I wish I knew that sooner, because I always think maybe I was in, I don't know, life environments and other places, and people was thinking, oh, you know, here we are, like, potty mouth and stuff, and it's good to actually know. Sometimes it's upsetting and it is kind of hurtful, you know what I mean? Like, you think everybody likes you, you think you're this great personality, and you realise that, you know, actually, you as a person upsetting everybody, or, like, people don't really like you. It's like, oh, that's a dagger to the heart, do you know what I mean? And it's good to know now and not let it prolong on so far, do you know what I mean? So maybe she does change, because everybody does seem to be a little scared of her and they do walk on eggshells, but now it's open, maybe everything's kind of like a little bit better for them. And also, you know, I thought the guys was going to reflect on their work a little bit deeper than they did in the episode. You know, they went and started throwing this professor, what was it called now, like Abbott's research away. Basically, he's passed away, and they found a bottle of champagne. Supposed to open it after he achieves something momentous in his life, and after 50 years he passed away and he's still nothing there. And I thought that the guys was going to self-reflect on their work, that, you know, they're working all these time and nobody's made this a big massive breakthrough, and what is it that they're actually doing in the field, and is it worth it? You know, I kind of had Sheldon do that, and that's kind of why he's changed from String Theory to Dark Matter, because he's been in it for so long and stable, like he's not really made no progressions. Maybe it's time to move on. And to be honest, Howard is probably the only person that we've seen out of them all so far that's actually done something momentous and something that is achievable and something that will go down in history. And you know what I mean? Like, being an astronaut, going into space and visiting the station is something that not many humans can actually do. And that is momentous, and that is when the champagne should be popping. So I feel like he had every right, if he wanted to pop it and swig it himself, but it was Sheldon that popped it for basically no reason than the return of his show at the end, and he wasn't even going to drink it anyway. So like, that's just like a sad end to that whole guys kind of thing, isn't it? But you know, that's wrapping up today's episode. If you did enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.